you and I are almost the same age. So as adults, we lived through the dot-com crash. We lived through the housing crisis. The dot-com crash was 2000. The housing crisis was like 2007. So now we're in the new crash of 2020. I've learned from the other crashes when I was fucked up. Like the 2000 crash completely wiped me out. I didn't have enough money to pay taxes. I used the money to kind of survive. I had to shut down my business. And it took me like 10 years to recover. And then when the 2007 crash happened, I was just starting Vlad TV and the money wasn't coming in. And I was fucked up again. And I'm like, okay, the next time this happens, I'm going to be prepared. I'm not going to buy a bunch of expensive real estate. I'm not going to buy a bunch of expensive cars. I'm going to invest in things like stocks, which I could quickly pull out of if I need to. I'm going to put money aside. I'm not going to buy a bunch of Ferraris and Rolls Royces, even though I could. I'm going to prepare for the worst case. And for the first time during a crash, I'm actually okay.
Yes.
I'm going to guess that you're probably in a similar space right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up with that perspective. I am. 2000 didn't affect me. I'm in the NFL. I'm still on my first contract, going to my second, which was a big contract. So business was booming, basically, even though I know things were crumbling around me. In terms of how it had an impact on me, it didn't. 2008, it did. 2008, I retired in 2007. And when you retire in the NFL, you're like, all right, you're looking at your nest egg and you're like, ooh, to retire on your own terms. You're like, ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that girl got commas. She gonna be here for a minute. We good. We family. And then 2008 hit. I probably lost 60, 70% of my worth, millions and millions and millions. Like you're looking at a bank statement and you're like, oh, that's cool. Unrealized income because I ain't cashing it in or whatever. It's in the market. And then literally the next statement, you're like, hey, bruh, stop playing with me. And then the next one, oh, you not playing with me. It keeps getting worse. And the worst part about it was I calculated when I was going to retire. And now I played 10 years. I lost 70% of my earnings. It seemed like in a couple of months. I'm like, you just took 7 years away from me. It felt like of my 10-year career. And I was sitting there like, okay, I ain't mad. Some of this will recover. I remember I had this big old, like, I don't like saying mansion. I don't know what is a mansion? Like a big ass house, like, but it was a mansion. It was big as hell. And it went from being worth $8 million to $1 million. And then they were like, we want you to continue to pay on it. I was like, I will if you adjust what it's worth because it ain't worth 8 and I'm paying $30,000 a month. Can you bring that thing on down? They're like, nah. And then because I had money, here's the real trick. Like if you get hurt, you were like, yo, heal my pain. They were like, no, you still got a lot of money. So you stuck. And I was like, I had to pay them to take the house away from me that they wouldn't lower the value that they knew was less than what I was paying. I was like, I had to pay you to go away. Like most people were just short selling and foreclosing. No, not me. I got caught up in, now you give me some money. We'll take it off your hands. And I had to write a big ass check. Point being, 08 hurt me. Like not even real, like in a real way. It hurt me in forecast. It hurt me in projections because I got there and I was like, I'm good. I'm retired. Not even a year retired. What just happened? Now this one, man, I'm calm as hell. In part because I've been through it. Like we were talking in the beginning of the interview. Once you've been through adversity, man, it strengthens you if you overcome it. And I overcame those situations. And I'm in a situation now, thankfully, that I have a job. I'm doing my job at home right here in this location right now every day. and things are okay. But I'm also sympathetic to those who are not in the same situation, because trust me, there was a time where I wasn't in this situation. I was in your shoes and I felt that pinch.
Yeah. I mean, I prepared for this. Like year after year, the sting of going broke and not being able to afford to pay taxes and going through all that stress. And, you know, like I remember in 2002, I was homeless. I was sleeping on couches. A phone bill, I went over my minutes of my phone bill and it fucked up my whole week because it was like way more than I expected to pay. It was fucked up. And this time around, I said, okay, I'm not going to overextend myself. I'm not going to assume that the money that's coming in is going to continue to come in. And I lived way below my means. And now I'm actually in a situation where, okay, not only am I okay, but everyone around me is okay. Luckily, our business is intact, but even if it wasn't, we would be able to weather the storm. And I think it's very important. And, you know, a lot of people, like you and I are similar ages. A lot of people like to say, you know, you're old as hell. They like to make fun of people when they get older. But the older I get, I realize how much being old is a gift that not everyone gets to have. Kobe did not get to live as long as you and I. Pop Smoke didn't get to live as long as you and me. Tupac, as much as he did in a short period of time, he never got to experience like having a family and having stability and looking at all the work you've done without being on the roller coaster that he was on all the time. Like, it really is a gift that not everybody gets to have. And it brings the wisdom and it brings the mistakes. And you and I have made similar mistakes. I've gone broke. Well, you haven't gone broke, but I've gone broke.
I was broke.
You was broke. Yeah. You were broke growing up. I got to be broke, you know, in my 30s. Right. Like it's a whole thing, and you learn from your mistakes and you get better and you learn to avoid the pitfalls and so forth. And for everyone who's watching this, man, stop looking at all the teenagers that are balling out on Instagram. Look at your elders and see how they are. And look at the ones that are successful and look at why they're successful. And try to learn from that. Because it's a lot easier to learn from someone else's mistakes than to go through those mistakes yourself.
Yeah, man. That's that old cliche. I think it was Bob Marley, somebody they said, a wise man learns from other mistake. A fool learns from his own. Like, you know, like, if you got to keep going through it, you a fool. Like, you got to learn from somebody else's. Like, and I'm glad you said it in terms of, like, I look at life and me being 45 right now as just a certificate of perseverance. And I got to keep putting that on the wall every year. Like, yes, I'm still here because I am going to grow from that. And when your life is cut short, or worse, you're alive, but you got a mentality that is looking too low in terms of ambition or at the wrong things. I feel for those people because I look at life like a game, 4 quarters. The first quarter of your life, whatever you want to say, 0 to 18, you are dependent. You are learning, getting programmed. Mama and daddy, if you're lucky, are both programming you, family, everybody programming what you're going to become. Then when you get into the second quarter, you're out there trying to figure it out and fucking it up in your 20s and 30s. Then you get to like your 30s, 40s. You're like, oh, I kind of got this. Like more success than failures. I'm saving for rainy days. I'm living below my means, all that. And then the fourth quarter, you just ride the momentum, them glory years, man. You ain't even pedaling anymore. And you just coasting, probably faster than when you were pedaling. And that's the game plan for everybody. But unfortunately, I'm so glad, man, I grew up where I grew up. I'm so glad I saw what I saw because I was able to vicariously live through that and see that for what it was and then be like, hell no. But so many people get manipulated, whether it's because of their circumstances, they don't have proper guidance, they don't listen to the guidance they do have. Everybody caught up. I used to be young in class And cats used to be talking about Jordans. And no shot at Michael Jordan in the freshest shoe ever, but I used to be sitting there like, didn't yesterday this fool talk about how hungry he was and today he talking about Jordans? Like, I just couldn't compute the two. I couldn't reconcile why you got a fresh 5.0 and you parking it on the front lawn in the most dangerous hood and then tripping somebody jacks your Dayton's. I'm like, because you ain't got it properly stored, secured. You ain't in the right situation for that. You way ahead of your skis, bro. And I can't count how many people I saw die because of dumb shit like that. But more importantly, how many people are living dead because they still be caught up on this stuff. And I'm going through my storage right now, Vlad, and I'm looking at old pictures of me with 5 chains on, 9 cars, ignorant as hell. Even I had to take my lumps. But the point is, you gotta persevere. Y'all gotta put your eyes on the right prize so we can get there. And it's sad because Kobe lost his life when he was just revving up 2.0. And he already had a hell of a start to 2.0, let alone what was going to become of that. And to know that it's gone, woo, that shit hurt. I mean, everybody got hit. Whether you were a father, you were a son, you were an athlete, you were a fan, everybody was like, because what I just tell you about the 08 crash, the forecast, everyone forecasted Kobe in his 50s and 60s catching up to Magic Johnson post-career, or if not surpassing him, and the girls and the family aspect. We just saw it all coming together. Oh, that cake was baking. And then boom. Man, that shit hurt like hell.
Yeah. And to just kind of touch on the money thing, the people that have been living, below their means, that have been stacking their money and investing their money conservatively and not spending it all on bullshit, this is actually the time that all those people are going to kill it. Because right now, the stock market is very low. Housing prices are dropping. I've always been the anti-house guy. I've always been you should always rent instead of buy. But right now, I'm actually looking at houses because the interest rates are the lowest they've ever been in our lifetime.
Ever.
And everyone's trying to sell. So for the people that actually live below their means and put things aside, like I remember Warren Buffett had $200 billion put aside in cash. No one understood why. Boom. Here's why. This is the time where when everyone else is selling, you could buy at a massive discount. Yeah. And when eventually things go back up, all those people are going to be like, yeah, we're good.
And you can ride that wave all the way to the top. You're right, man. And it's so crazy that when you look at that saving for a rainy day, or just not always trying to be the winner because of flash, be the winner because of substance, something that's really deeper than that. I swear that cartoon growing up, I don't know if it was Looney Tunes or not, but they kept having the tortoise race the hare. And I remember watching it like, ain't no way this damn turtle gonna ever beat that rabbit. And then I don't think I ever saw that rabbit beat that turtle, because the rabbit got caught up in, I know I'm good, I'm fresh, I want to show everybody I'm going around in circles, not paying attention, not really being astute on every move. And that turtle's like, I only got so many steps and I ain't wasting not a damn one of them. And you cross that finish line, boom, the smart one, the one who's paying attention, the one who's invested in the moment, the one who's in tune with the moment, man, and doing the right things, they win the race.
Yes, sir. Well, Marcellus Wiley, always a pleasure. Congratulations once again on your new baby.
Mm-hmm. Olivia's in the world, man.
Yep.
I got 4 on 4 deep and counting, man. I ain't done.
Woo! 4 deep. 4 deep. Congratulations, man. And all the best to you.
Much love, Vlad. Do it again, brother,
sir.
soon.
Until next time.
Yes, sir.